What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over ranking each and every one of our top best pink diamonds in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM on a tier list. Now, I do want to say, I don't have every pink diamond. I have basically all the pink diamond that I think have some relevance in this game, and maybe even some extras that wouldn't have to be on this list. But we've got a ton of pink diamonds, so look. If you drink coffee, get your coffee ready. If you eat popcorn, get your popcorn ready. And honestly, do what you gotta do. Because we might be here a while, but I'm hoping by the end of this thing, you guys love me as much as I love you. So thank you guys for all the recent support on the channel. Let me sip my coffee as I get into the Dikembe Mutombo. For Mutombo. That coffee is strong today, but I need it strong. Dikembe Mutombo can't shoot, but he does a lot of things on the court decently well. He rebounds well. His speed is decent. I don't mind Dikembe Mutombo. I'm going to go C tier. I think that's where the card belongs. Calvin Nat up next. I'm going to go B tier for Calvin Nat. I think defensively, the card's incredible. Offensively, his three ball might not be that high. Everything else about Calvin Nat, I don't mind whatsoever. So that's where I'm at with Calvin Nat. I do think B tier is the right spot for the card. Chris Mullin at this stage, I'm going to go D tier. I'm not going to go D tier. I'm going to go C tier. Look, Chris Mullin came out in Season 1, so I mean, at this stage, it's hard for me to really hype the card up a whole ton. I still do think he deserves C tier, but I don't love the card. Paul George, S tier. I will hype up Paul George forever. I will, because I think he's still to this day one of the best shooting guards in the game. A lot of people, oh, Ty, he's not that good anymore. Man, be quiet. Paul George is one of the best cards in the game. Ron Artest, I don't think he's quite as good as Paul George, but he is S tier. Like, he is 100% an S tier shooting guard in this game. Pink Diamond Wade, C tier. He's not horrible, but he doesn't hold anything compared to the Dark Matter D Wade. Zach LaVine, S tier. Oh my gosh, are we just gonna have a lot of people in S tier? Maybe. The Glove, Gary Payton, C tier. I don't mind him, but offensively, he's just not great at this stage. SGA, S tier. And again, I feel like we're going to have a lot of S tier cards, so I don't like doing this. Franz Wagner, S tier. Look, I struggle to green sometimes with Franz, but he's 6'10", his movement's good, his release is solid. Look, I don't know. We'll figure it out eventually. KG, I'm going to go B tier. I don't love KG's release. To me, it's slow, it's methodical, it's not great, but I still think KG's a fine card. I'm going to throw B tier there. Michael Finley, I'd be lying to say I've ever used the card a whole ton. I haven't. I don't think the card's worthless, but I don't think he's good. Pink Diamond Dirk, I'm going to throw him at C tier. He's not bad. The Opal Dirk is just way better than Pink Diamond Dirk. Victor Wembanyama, the best card still to this day in the entire game, is a Pink Diamond Wemby, which is crazy, but he still is the overall best card in the game. There's really no debating that. James Harden, I don't like when people hate on James Harden. If you badge up James Harden, you got a really good point guard. And there are some people that hate on James Harden. Don't ask me why. I don't know why they've got so much hate in their heart. James Harden's good. Greg Oden, I'm going to go A tier with Greg Oden. Now, I want you guys to stop for a moment and let me know. Just think out loud. How do you guys think this tier list is going? I actually think this is a good tier list. However, I feel like some people might not love it, you know? So I don't know. This is what's hard about doing tier lists is, you know, you can't please everybody. You just can't. Tier lists are hard. They're hard to do. But I don't like the fact that right now when I'm doing this tier list, I don't like the fact that I've got nobody at D tier or F tier. I don't like that. So maybe we'll have to adjust some things. Derek White, A tier. I'm going to move James Harden down to B tier. I think Derek White is an absolute stud on this game. I genuinely think he's a beast. I think I can move some of these guys down. I'm going to move Finley down. I'm going to move Gary down. I'm going to move Wade down. I'm going to move Dirk down. I'm going to move Mutombo down. No, I'm not. But how do I differentiate? I think Mullin's better than Finley. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this. I think that's a little better. Dikembe, look, I know Dikembe's cheesy. I get it. I know Dikembe can be cheesy, but I think he's D tier. Maybe I like this a little more. I don't know. Bob McAdoo has got to go to at S tier. And I know maybe in the past I haven't put Bob McAdoo always at S tier, but he's 6'9", offensively a beast, defensively a stud. I mean, he's got to go at S tier, I think. Cade Cunningham has to go at S tier too. How do I do this tier list? I have no idea. I have no idea because all of these pink diamonds are so good on this game. Yao Ming, F tier. He is the worst card on this list. I don't care. Shaq, Dikembe's better than Shaq. F tier for Shaq. Paul Millsap's extremely good, but he's A tier. I really like Paul Millsap, but I do think at the end of the day, he is an A tier caliber card. Ja Morant, Pink Diamond, C tier. I mean, offensively, he's better than Wade Gary. Defensively, he doesn't do anything compared to those cards. Jimmy Butler, B tier. I mean, defensively, Jimmy is absolutely elite, absolutely incredible. The problem is his offense is just horrible on this game. His release is not great. Hakeem Olajuwon, A tier. Not quite S tier, probably. But again, it's the debate of Hakeem or Bob McAdoo. I'm going to move Bob McAdoo down to A tier. And I love Bob McAdoo, but I think I've got to move the card down 1 tier and go from there. Larry Bird, not great. C tier. They really did not make Larry Bird good on this game. They didn't. Evan Mobley up next. Solid card. I'm going to throw him at B tier, though. I don't think he's as good as Greg Oden, Hakeem Olajuwon. I do think the card's good, but I think there's a limit to how high I can be on him. Sean Kemp is an absolute stud, but he's in there at A tier right there with Bob McAdoo. J-Dub, Jalen Williams, I mean, since he can't play small forward, he's going to go D tier. Like, if you want to run an extremely tiny lineup, sure, run Jalen Williams, but I'm telling you, you'll be running an extremely tiny lineup. Eddie Jones, I think A tier probably is the right spot. I think he's better than Jimmy Butler. Not perfect, but I do think he's better than Jimmy Buckets. This Kawhi, I'm going to go A tier. It's tough, though. I still think Paul George, Ron Artest, Franz Wagner are all better than him, so I actually don't even have a problem putting him at A tier. David Robinson, Pink Diamond, he is still A tier. I know a lot of people don't love D-Rob in general, especially the Pink Diamond D-Rob, now that the Opal D-Rob's out. But I hate to break it to you guys, he is still an A tier caliber card. The card can still play at a really high level. Joel Embiid, A tier as well. This one, I'm not sorry about. I think, Joel Embiid is an absolute beast, an absolute stud on this game. Easy, in my opinion. Easy addition to put in that A tier. Scottie Pippen, A tier as well. I mean, it's so hard to do this rankings. It really is. Hedo, I don't like Hedo. You're going to go C tier. Pink Diamond, Kareem. I mean, he is 7'2". He has the ability to shoot the ball. I got to go A tier, but he's not S tier. D-Book, I'm putting D-Book at S tier. I've said it all along. He's the easiest card in this game to use because his release is literally training wheels. Magic Johnson, I'm going to go B tier with Magic. It does take a special person to know how to use Magic Johnson. I 100% agree with that. But if you know how to use him, he could be pretty good. So I'm going to go B tier. Jermaine O'Neal stinks. His release is just too slow for me. He's D tier. Jamal Mashburn isn't horrible. I'm actually going to go up to B tier with him. If you chose him out of the locker code, you got a really good card in Jamal Mashburn. This SGA, look, I know his SIGs are good, but he's only A tier. You can't throw this SGA in S tier. You just can't. He's fine, but he's not S tier. This Karl Malone at this stage, I'm going to go D tier. I don't love him. Tyler Hero still is not bad. I'm going to go B tier with Tyler Hero. I don't know why people hate on Tyler Hero. I genuinely don't. The card is 6'5". I think he's 6'5". He's got the SGA moving crossover, which is cheesy. There's just not a lot of flaws in Tyler Hero. The card to me is an absolute beast, an absolute stud. Steve Francis, F tier, maybe the worst card that isn't, a Yao Ming on this entire list. F tier for Steve Francis. Pascal Siakam, he's not very good either, undersized for this era of the game. D tier for Spicy P. Next up, Luka. I don't know, man. I'm still going to go B tier with Luka because he is long, lengthy. He is 6'7". Luka's not perfect on this game, though. But he's fine. Like, if you're running Luka and you're having success with him, you can run him. He's fine. He's not great by any means, but the card is fine, and you can definitely run him. Artis Gilmore stinks. D tier. No, he's F tier. He's F tier. I'm sorry, Artis, you're F tier. You aren't fast. You don't do anything on the court. F tier. Clay. B tier probably, like right in there with Jimmy Butler. I'm going to shoot the ball well, but that's about it. Steve Smith, B tier. I don't think Steve Smith is great, but maybe it's recency bias how he's over Chris. No, I got to move Chris Mullin up. I don't love Chris Mullin, but I've got to move Chris Mullin up A tier. Danny Granger, B tier. Danny Granger is really solid, but he isn't A tier. I don't think he's as good as some of those guys at A tier. Just more so than anything because defensively, he's just not perfect. Jerry Stackhouse, I'm going to go C tier with Stackhouse. Not horrible, but that's where he belongs. Rudy. Everybody says I always underrate Rudy. I'm going to throw him in A tier. Now, honestly, I think that's a fair tier. If you want Rudy at S tier, I don't know what to tell you. He is not as good as Paul George. He's just not. I'm sorry. Compare the cards. Draymond Green, I'm higher on Draymond Green than anybody else. I'm going to throw him at A tier. But that's because I have Draymond Green, and I use Draymond Green, and I like Draymond Green. I know his release isn't the quickest, but to me, it's super easy to time, super easy to green. He plays a ton of defense. I'm going A tier. Adam Morrison, I think Adam Morrison is A tier primarily because of his offensive ability. Defensively, Adam Morrison doesn't do anything. Offensively, he is a stud. Cedric Maxwell. Problem with Cedric Maxwell is really that 3-ball. I'm going to throw him at C tier. I don't hate him because his release is fantastic, but that 3-ball being as low as it is hurts the card. To me, C tier. Allen Houston up next. I don't know. I've not used Allen Houston, nor am I going to. I'm going to go C tier. However, I can see a world in which you guys have Allen Houston higher, and I can see a world in which you have Allen Houston lower. So that's where I'm going to put him. If you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. It's where he's going. Joakim Noah. I don't know where the right spot is for Joakim Noah, because a lot of people might argue that Joakim Noah deserves A tier. I don't know though. Like I have a hard time putting him at A tier. I'm putting him at B tier. I don't think he is B tier though. I don't know. With Joakim Noah, I don't know where to put him. I'm gonna put him at A tier, but I don't love it. I'm gonna reluctantly put him at A tier. I'll say that. Kristaps Porzingis S tier at the center position. He's one of the top 3 or 4 centers in the game. I don't want to call him the second best center in the game when Galaxy Open D-Rab's in the game, but KP is one of the better centers that we do have in this game right now. Pink Diamond Jokic F tier. He's horrible. Don't use him. Pink Diamond LaMelo. If you're talking on next gen, the card's not good. Like LaMelo, simply put, is not good on next gen. Moses Malone, he's D tier. The card stinks. Kevin McHale, D tier. The card stinks. Ricky Davis, D tier. The card stinks. Lamar Odom, C tier. The card's not very good. T-Mac, B tier, but he's not great. Like, he's still B tier, but he's not great. Chris Bosh, C tier. Not great at all. He can shoot the ball, but that's about it. Brad Miller. I mean, for a budget card, Brad Miller's fine, but he's still only B tier. He's not great. Brook Lopez, C tier. He's just too slow, and that release stinks. Drew Holiday is immaculate. Man, I don't know. I'm throwing Drew Holiday at S tier. I don't care. I love Drew Holiday enough to throw him at S tier, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. S tier for Drew Holiday. RJ Richard Jefferson up next. Another card that I don't mind Richard Jefferson. So, I mean, I think, if Chris Mullin's B tier, RJ has to be B tier. That's where I'm putting him. Gilbert, D, C tier for Gilbert. I guess I probably should move LaMelo Ball up as well, but I'm going to leave LaMelo there because for his price, he's not good. Caron Butler is mid. Some people gas this card. He's mid, C tier. Anton Jameson. The release is just too bad for Anton Jameson to be any higher than D tier. Like, it is. He's a small forward. Card is nearly perfect, but that release holds the card way back. I'm throwing him at D tier. De'Aaron Fox, another gross card. I'm throwing De'Aaron Fox at D tier. I've never liked him this year. Dale Ellis, right in there with Allen Houston. I mean, both cards are fine. You can use both cards. I don't love either card. MJ, ew. I don't care. I'm throwing him at F tier. I don't like Michael Jordan on this game. And I know people are going to get mad at me, but I don't like him. KD, C tier, I guess. Right in there with Larry Bird. KD is not good on this game. People love to gas him because his name is Kevin Durant. But trust me when I tell you guys, he's not that good on this game. And once you realize it, you will see it. Peja up next. Peja walks circles around Kevin Durant. He's only B tier, but he is better than KD for sure. No questions asked. Better than Kevin Durant. Next up, Tim Thomas. He stinks this year. D tier. No questions asked. Daryl Dawkins, honestly, is actually a good card. Daryl Dawkins is good. I'm going to probably have to go B tier. Again, I don't know enough about Daryl Dawkins, though. So I'm going to throw him at B tier. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that. Rudy stinks. F tier. Can't shoot. Like, what are you doing on the court? I don't know. Joe Dumars stinks. D tier. Bronny James stinks. D tier. Did I accidentally put Dumars in C tier? He's not. Michael Redd, not very good. D tier. Kyle Korver, solid. Kyle Korver's got to go into B tier. And honestly, if you want to debate Kyle Korver in A tier because he fits your playstyle, whatever. I just don't think for me he obviously is. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I will never slander you ever, Giannis. You're at S tier. You are one of the best power forwards in the entire game, still to this day, because you play so much defense. Your player model is elite. I will never slander you, Giannis Antetokounmpo, ever. Gerald Wallace up next. Very solid small forward in this game. He is A tier. And then last, but certainly not least, you got King James, who is easy. S tier. Honestly, when I started this list, I thought we might have a ton of people at S tier. Looking at it now, it's actually decently balanced. Like, it's way more balanced than I initially thought it would be. So I'll take some, I actually don't mind this as much as I initially thought I would heading into it. But let me know your thoughts on my Pink Diamond tier list. To me, obviously, I'm biased, but I think I hit this perfect. I think you can't find a better Pink Diamond tier list on the internet. I don't think you can. So let me know your thoughts on it. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.